people trying to come to Africa to fix their problems or their issues. That Africa won't heal you. Let me repeat, Africa won't heal you.
I wanted to talk about because it's something that you guys should know, like before you're coming to Tanzania. If you're not here already, please stop listening to these YouTubers that keep on telling you that this place is dirt cheap and you could get a place for like $300 a month. You guys gotta realize something. The economy here in the past year, houses are going up like crazy.
I want to talk about why so many African Americans are moving back to America from Africa and why I think it is, right? I actually think it's pretty obvious. I think the reason why African Americans who move to Africa and a lot of them are coming back is simply because they weren't prepared.
Hello everybody, welcome once again to AfriPost. Wherever you're watching us from, we hope you're doing great. And if you're watching us for the first time, please take a second or two to subscribe to this channel because we have many great content to give you in this channel. We talk about Africa, we champion for African integration, and we call for our black people to come together and unite as one family, because regardless of where we are, regardless of where we find ourselves, you could be in South Africa, you could be in Caribbean, you could be in United States, you could be in Europe, and you are still a black person. So what is it there for us? We must accept that regardless of the hate we get from the external world, we must unite together and be one community. Now, I want us to talk about this question about black Americans and black people across the world coming back to Africa. First of all, Africa is the only continent with the largest population of black. And as you know, we have a few Arabs who have some lighter skin. We have some white, mostly in South Africa. But Africa is dominated by the black. Because you find that many black people are spread across the world, we would want to say that let them also come and experience the life we have here. Because if you know, most of Africans have been moving to Europe, moving to USA, moving to different countries to get different opportunities. But then there is this question: should African Americans come to Africa? Should Afro-Caribbeans come to Africa? Should blacks located even in Russia and everywhere in Europe come to Africa? Before you take that journey and before you take that ticket, we know that for some time now, African leaders have tried to create opportunities and to make it easy for black people to come and visit Africa. For example, Ghana in 2019 declared the year of return. This is where Africans across the continent, if you can trace your ancestry to Ghana, you are allowed to go have an experience, because surely there are great things there. And I believe Africans out there, you will concur with me that a sizable number have a link to most West African countries. Because why? These are the people who mostly were carried and taken to United States and even in Europe during slave trade. So it is given that you have a link in Africa. But while people are being called to come, there are those who have already come, because right now it's 2023 and some people have come. Some have even built their homes here. The question is, what was their experience? Are they deciding to stay here or are they deciding to go back? I just want to touch a little bit on some of the reasons why African Americans may want to come to Africa or may rethink this decision of coming to Africa, because it is said that there are different experiences here. So I want to look at some of the reasons why some of them would say they would not want to be here, because as it is, there are certain different options that you may take when you're coming to Africa. One of them, you might come and decide that you want to stay here forever, connect with your ancestry and be here in the land of your forefathers. Then you may just decide that you want to come to Africa, have an experience and look at it. This is quite different, because as a traveler, as a tourist, you are free to have the best life that you want. But when it comes to those who are staying here, some of them have stayed and some of them have gone. My question is, why are these African Americans deciding to go back after coming to Africa? Number one, limited economic opportunities. We know that immediately you come to, let's say, Africa, you will not be coming here and staying and resting and sleeping. You will need to go get some work and sustain yourself. No matter how much savings you have, at some point you'll want to go work and have something for yourself. So this is it. Despite Africa's vast potential, some regions might struggle in offering sufficient economic prospects to African Americans. This may lead to black Americans seeking better opportunities elsewhere. You get that? Yes, you may be coming to Africa, you may be coming to, let's say, Tanzania, you may be coming to Ghana, you may be coming to Kenya, but there is this aspect. Once you stay and relocate here, you will have one issue here. The question is, what will be your source of income? If you have enough saving and you are retired, you want to just have and enjoy yourself, but then there is this young African who is very ambitious, who wants to come and settle in Africa. What do we do for this kind of a person? Those who have stayed here have given different submissions, and they have said that one of the challenges they are struggling to cope up with in Africa is the lack of sufficient opportunities. This is not like United States, where you realize that someone can do 2 to 3 jobs a day. In Africa, you cannot have that because, first of all, there are limited job opportunities. That is why you realize that in many cases, most Africans are moving out of Africa through the Red Sea, through the Mediterranean Sea, to get to European countries where they can have better life opportunities. The second reason here is cultural adaptation challenges. Yes, you are moving from United States of America. You are moving from Europe. What do you expect? When you come here, you'll meet people with different cultures. That is a hindrance. If you're somebody who is not socialized in a certain way, you might not find it easy gelling with these people. That is the reason that you'll realize that most people are not willing to continue staying in Africa. Adjusting to different cultural norms, languages, and social customs can be challenging. Some Black Americans may find it difficult to integrate fully into certain African society. This may lead to a sense of isolation or discomfort. Yes, when you come here, at some point, when you are living and have people with different cultures around you, it might be entertaining because diversity is something that is good. But then again, when you want to live, when you want to interact, when you want to socialize, how are you going to socialize with these people? So that is also something that before you take that step to come, understand, are you ready to gel and mingle with these societies, these people of different cultural norms? That is something that is worth talking about. The third issue that I want us to talk about here is the question about the quality of healthcare and quality of education. These are very important aspects. Do you agree? Yes, education is important. You are somebody who is having, let's say you are young, you have your children, and you want to live with them. Automatically, you will have to take them to school. Do you consider the education system in Africa that stable for your child? Having had that experience in United States, having lived the rest of your life in United States, do you consider the quality of education in Africa something that you can cope up with? This is something that is also pushing many people to get out of Africa because they are saying, wait a minute, I am moving to Africa, but it is only going to benefit me. I am grown up, I don't need to go back to school. But I have kids. How will these kids sustain themselves? They will have to go to school. And in school, what is there? But I want to put it to you here. When it comes to schools, we also have international schools in Africa. And these schools hold children of experts, children of ambassadors of different countries. These international schools have curricula that can sustain and contain people of different desires. The only question is, when it comes to these international schools, they are quite expensive and some may not be able to afford them. That is why instead of coming and settling with their children here, they are just deciding to say, wait a minute, I will not go to Africa fully, but I'll make it be my vacation home where I don't live with my kids there, but during the holiday seasons like it is approaching right now, they can come in Africa and have their moment. Concerns about the accessibility and standard of education and healthcare facilities in certain African regions might prompt some Black Americans to live in search of better equipment systems elsewhere. That is something that is worth considering. The second thing that is making some African Americans not to really fancy staying in Africa, the question about political instability. Africa is at some point sometimes multiple and a myriad of political instability issues. For instance, right now, you remember the coups that took place in Niger, took place in Mali, took place in Burkina Faso. Assuming you wanted to go and visit these regions, as somebody traveling from the Western nations, you will realize that you will be having some aspect of apprehension and not thinking of staying there. And even if you are somebody who is already in those localities, you might be afraid because this is something you've never experienced where you were brought up in. And the question about what will happen to your life and what will happen to your belonging can really be a political instability, civil unrest, and conflict in certain African nations might create an environment of uncertainty and insecurity, leading some Black Americans to consider living for safety and stability reasons. You might find that there are certain ethnic conflicts that are in certain regions, because one thing is here, Africa is full of many different tribes, and at some point differences may occur and you might find yourself in the making. In such a situation, as a Black American, you might find it difficult to continue staying here. So that is also there. And it is always good that when you come as an African American and you want to stay within the African communities, you must understand the culture you are going to and the people you are going to live with. You must also understand that one of the best ways to socialize is try to reach and then engage with them continuously. This will create a rapport around you and it will create a situation whereby both of you are having a great moment. So if you look at it, you will note that staying and living in Africa is interesting, but then it may present a challenge to somebody who is not socialized to stay here. There is also this perception that people always have that Africa is some sort of a jungle, that people are full of diseases and primitivity. That is a question that has been fed to most of you through the media, and it is difficult to weed out truths and falsehoods from such kind of statements. Therefore, it is important for you to do your research, understand the place you are going to, and prepare to go. Your documents and everything that is there. We as Africans, first of all, are welcoming. But one thing with us as Africans, we always like telling the truth. If there is a problem somewhere, we will tell you that we have a problem in this sector. We will inform you that this is where we feel better. But there are many opportunities for African Americans to come in Africa and invest. As I always say, in the next 20 years, Africa will be the continent that everybody wants to come to. This is because Africa has the largest youth population compared to any other continent. Africa is endowed by numerous resources. Africa has good and skilled labor that can be used, and it is also cheap. Africa is also home of good climate and weather, and we also have a lot of wildlife and every resource that God can give to human race. So that is it from me. I believe after watching this video, you will make that conscious decision to either come to Africa or to just make Africa be part of your holiday plans, that you may come and mingle with us. We welcome you all. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and also hit that notification bell so that immediately we produce a new content, you get notified. Bye bye. May the good Lord bless you. Thank you.